You are entering a safe space. Please take a moment to center yourself and allow every thought, worry, and care to fall away right now. Focus on taking deep breaths and allow yourself to feel the healing freedom that is waiting to be ignited within you. Welcome to the Loud Whisper Reignite Your Voice podcast. This is your healing space, providing you with hope and inspiration as you become more connected to yourself. Your safe vessel, helping you move to a higher consciousness to reignite your voice and discover who you are destined to be really inside you. I am Isabel Draughon, your host. I am also an author, entrepreneur, and a life transformation and spiritual coach. Most importantly, I am a perpetual student of life, just like you. So let's explore together. Claim what is already inside you. Welcome to the Loud Whisper Reignite Your Voice podcast. This is the healing space, your health and wellness podcast. And I am your host, Isabel Draughon. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure for you to listen to the podcast. Thank you for subscribing, and please make sure that you share with people around the world. As I always mention, the intention for this podcast, I call it the healing space. It's about humanity, what we're experiencing. And I love to bring people on so we can hear people's stories, and they can also teach us different ways of how we can heal or even be the best versions of who we are. And it doesn't matter what that looks like to you, in your own way, in your own journey, in your own path. As for me, I feel really blessed right now. I am so excited to introduce to you this remarkable woman. And I'm not just saying it because she's sitting here. I've told her this for years. I have told her this for years. Zelma.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the Loud Whisper podcast. I'll say this. It means so much to me that you took the time to come here. And my husband knows this. I don't know if I always say to you, whether you like it or not, to me, for those of you that have watched The Matrix, you remember the Oracle? From the first day I saw her, it was not in my mind. It was not in my body, but my spirit. I watched this woman and my soul said, I just want to be like her when I grow up. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're very, very welcome.
Yeah, it's such an honor to sit here and to meet your audience and enjoy and share some time together.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And guys, you're in for a treat. You really are in for a treat. So before we dive in, what I'll first do is tell you guys a little bit about Zelma, and then we're going to go ahead and dive in. And also, she's going to do a short meditation for those of you that are driving and listening to the podcast. While she's doing the meditation, please continue your driving and you can meditate as you're driving. Just breathe is what I'll say to you. Okay. Zelma Pierce Chamberlain, M.Ed, is a retired educator with over 20 years experience working with a non-traditional population. She has found that meditation is key to living a life of peace and equipoise. Coping with stressful situations is not easy. However, meditation allows her the opportunity to navigate life's challenges with grace, knowing that all is provided under the protection of the supreme power within. Mm-hmm. Many have found her workshops direct, engaging, and resonating with practical experiences that are enjoyed by all. Thank you so much again for joining us. I am excited. We're in for a treat. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. This is a wonderful opportunity to reach a different population.
Yes, yes.
So I'm excited to be here.
Okay. How are you today?
I feel very blessed today.
Okay.
And I tell everyone that I feel blessed when I can open my eyes in the morning and do this on my own. And I'm somewhat in my right mind. Not all, but that's okay. And I'm smiling.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely grateful when I wake up in the morning. And I have a whole day in front of me to try again. My intention is to try again.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about being able to wake up, being on my own.
And, you know, before we dive in, I did talk about you do a little bit of meditation. You talked to me a little bit about when you wake up in the morning. And I think it just, the reason why I want to have this conversation at this moment, because you just spoke about it. I'm a firm believer that we're guided every day. I'm a firm believer that how we wake up and how we open ourselves up to the day dictates the rest of the day.
Absolutely. It sets the tone for the day.
There you go. Give us a little bit, a second, a minute or two, or whatever, of what does your day, when you wake up in the morning?
Okay.
How do you get into this world that we're in?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm now in a new decade. We're not going to talk about what decade, but I'm in another decade. So I've started another 10-year cycle.
Okay.
And when I wake up in the morning, I always start my day with gratitude because I think it's so important to honor the power that brought me here. Okay. So I'm extremely grateful for that. That's number one. Not number two, but number one, part B, is that I sit to meditate every morning.
Okay.
I have a special place in my house dedicated for just meditation. It's a chair, but a chaise lounge. My mom would have called it a sleeping couch.
Yeah.
For those of you who are from the South. But it's just a lovely chair that I sit in. And here is where I have intimacy with the God within me. And it is listening. Because meditation, we are taught that prayer is talking to God.
Yeah.
Meditation is listening.
Okay.
So let's redirect our mind shift.
Okay.
So that we are listening to God in the morning. So I sit there with the intention to listen.
Okay.
Sometimes the message is extremely clear. Other times it may be a little befuddled by my own insecurities.
Ooh.
But it's always there.
Right.
So I sit for meditation, and a lot of people say, well, Zelma, how long do you sit?
Yeah.
It's not the time, it's the intention.
Okay, can you say that again? Because
it's not the time that I'm sitting.
Okay.
It's the intention. And when I say intention, it's that I'm not thinking about meditation. I'm experiencing what God has for me. And that's different. It's a little bit of a shift in your day-to-day thinking.
Okay.
But that's what it is.
Okay.
It's a shift in your thinking so that you are opening your very being to accept what the creator that made you has for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so once we do that, it becomes, life becomes this sweet, I almost want to say soliloquy of God's orchestrated for you. He orchestrates this just for you.
Yeah.
So then you move through life as an observer and not necessarily as a participant.
Yeah.
As I've learned in these past decades, I don't always need to be the person participating.
Okay.
I can sit back and observe situations. I don't have to comment. I just watch the world go by.
Yeah.
If there is a need for me to participate, I participate. And then again, I step back. I am finding that the more I put my energy out there, the more those sucky people
come for you.
Come for me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They come for you.
I agree with you.
So I'm not giving, we're not doing that anymore.
No, we're not doing that. And you and I were talking about solitude, and that's why we'll get into that later. Yeah.
So I just kind of sit back now and observe.
Mm.
And it's a new shift for me.
Right.
But it's one that I really like. Mm. So, I sit back and I observe the day as I'm moving through the day. Mm-hmm. If you greet me in love, I'm going to return that to you.
Yeah.
And I smile and I keep going.
Yeah.
Some people, they'll see you and they just smile at you with their eyes and they keep going. Mm-hmm. So that's how I think I have found it's best. That's the way. It's a good way to move through life.
Through life.
Yeah.
See? This is going to be, oh my goodness, this is going to be amazing. But as I promised, before we do a deep dive and really get into knowing who Zelma is and for her to teach us, as you could see just this minute and a half, her words of wisdom, they touch my soul. And that's why this woman, she has a place in my heart so dear to me. I feel like I'm 8,000 miles away from home and having somebody who my soul resonates with. When I see her and she reminds me of the women that I saw growing up at home and just her energy, her love, it means a lot. So what I'm going to do is give her the floor for us to do just a little bit of meditation before we start. So me and her will be able to center ourselves. And if you're at home, give yourself this 1 minute. Just do it for yourself, please. Just be still. Be intentional about it. If you're driving, just breathe through it. Make sure you're driving. Please do not close your eyes. So, Zelma, I'll give you the floor and we will start with the meditation.
This is a very interesting meditation practice. Mm-hmm. It's a concept that is extremely simple.
Okay.
So the first thing we want to do is find a relaxed position where we can sit for an extended period of time without moving.
Okay.
The second thing we want to do, so we want to relax our body. We want to focus our attention as if we're looking at a movie screen in a general theater. Now, this movie that we're about to watch is one that is directed by God just for us. So, Isabel, your movie is going to look different from our movie, but we're going to sit at the same time.
Okay.
So I want you to focus your attention about 8 to 10 inches from this point. So you're going to bring all of your attention up to this point, not straining, just gently focusing, and then shoot out about 8 to 10 inches out in this area in front of us so that your projector, if you will, this third or single eye, is shooting out about 8 to 10 inches. You want to do that because that's where your screen lies. As soon as you close your eyes, and if those of you who are driving, I would not do this while you're driving. No. But those of you who are at home or in a stationary place, you can follow along with me. Your outer environment has nothing to do with your inner journey. So as you sit and as you close your eyes and you begin to focus your attention, what's going to happen is thoughts are going to begin to bombard you. And they can be the most mundane thoughts. I left dishes in the sink at home when I left today. I passed somebody on the road that I probably should have let them cross the road. I mean, all kinds of simple, insignificant thoughts will come up. So the question becomes, how do we deal with those thoughts? So we use a technique called the calming word. The first technique that I talked about, focusing our attention on that movie screen in front of us, and then we're going to start our process. But as soon as we start, thoughts come in. So now you're going to refocus using something called a calming word. Now, what is the calming word, Zelma? The calming word is any word, phrase that brings calm and peace to your spirit. For me, it may be the word love. If you are religious or follow a particular religious tradition, you can use the name of the founder of your religion. You can use a scriptural verse if that's something that you like. Whatever brings calm to your being. I like the word love. So I use the word love, and we are not going to use the 5 senses for this particular meditation practice. But I'm going to demonstrate what you're going to be doing silently. So for me, I would say love, 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 love. That's the silent repetition that's going on in my head. We don't use the 5 senses during this particular meditation practice because those 5 senses are attached to helping us navigate in the outer world. Where we're going is really within, and it's in a spiritual region. So we don't need those 5 senses. So as you begin this meditation practice, this particular technique teaches us to silently repeat this calming word. Now, having said that, I'm going to give you a helpful hint. As you're repeating your word, love, love, love. It's not the word that you're saying. It's the space between the words without a thought. That's the hard part. It's not the words. Saying the words is easy.
Okay.
It's the space between the words without a thought.
It's tough. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. That's where God lives.
Yeah.
See, we are trained to, we're constantly talking and doing and being and all of that.
Yeah.
But God lives in quiet.
Yeah, be still.
Be still. All the books tell you that.
Yeah, be still.
Your mom, when you were a kid, said, sit down and be quiet.
Be quiet.
So here's that one opportunity to sit down and be quiet and enjoy what God has for us. How many of us do that? So to start your day by sitting down, being quiet, and listening to what God has for you. So as you're repeating your word, love, thought is coming, love, thought is coming, love. Every time a thought is beginning to come, repeat your calming word. That helps to focus your attention on the screen in front of you where God is playing. Now, you say, Zelma, well, what am I going to see? You may see lights. You may see colors. You may see flashes of light, circles of light. That is dependent, and we can go into that a little later on your spiritual background as to what you're going to see. That's not what we're here for today. We're here to get everybody focused in that direction because this is where your peace is going to lie. This is where your real growth starts. So we sit, we close our eyes, we focus our attention, and we start repeating our calming word or phrase that brings peace to our body. We keep this going until we just relax right into it. And this is what we do. So let's try it. Before we get started, I'd like to read some meditation instructions. This is called S.O.S. meditation technique, Science of Spirituality meditation technique. So these are the instructions as given by Sant Rajinder Singh, Ji Maharaj. He says this: meditation, practice daily, connects you with bliss and joy within, and helps your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Sit comfortably in any pose in which you can remain for an extended period of time. Close your eyes gently, just as you would when you go to sleep, but remain wide awake. Focus your attention 8 to 10 inches in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally repeat any calming word or phrase slowly at an even pace. This silent repetition will keep the mind from wandering. You may see flashes of light, circles of light, or lights of various colors.
Mm-hmm.
When your attention is focused, you see the light. Keep your attention focused in the middle of the experience and enjoy its calming and peaceful effect. This meditation sitting will be for 1 minute.
Yeah, let's do it for 1 minute. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and start. And then, guys, after, please, if you're home, give yourself 1 minute. Put that phone down. In fact, turn your phone off just for this 1 minute. I'm challenging you to give yourself this 1 minute from your 24-hour day. Okay? I'll let Zelma do the 1 minute meditation, and then we'll dive into having our conversation. So just let's go.
Kindly bring your attention back to the webinar. Let's go, girl.
Let's go. Thank you for that.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. The whole time you were talking earlier, I already had my eyes closed. That's how soothing your voice is. You giving instruction and I'm over here meditating.
That's right.
Thank you so much for sharing that practice with the audience. And I hope you guys really, this is what I wanted to ask you. So when someone starts, 1 minute is fine, because I think people, we get so caught up in, and it's intimidating. It was intimidating for me before I started, to be honest. You see people sitting and people are like, you have to sit this way. Your legs have to do that.
Yeah,
and you need to be able to sit for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Or so people say, you know what? Stuff like that. People are like, forget it. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Is it okay to just sit for a minute, to start with 1 minute?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, as women, when I always say, for those of you who've seen me before at our women's retreats, which we'll talk about, I often tell people, especially women, when you're teaching a child to eat solid food, you don't put a 5-course meal in front of them.
Sure.
No. You give the baby a half of teaspoon of something, and the baby likes that, and that's good. And then the next time you give them a whole teaspoon. That's the way you really need to start your meditation practice. Okay. It's about building.
Yeah.
So start off with 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
If you can do 3 minutes a day when you're starting, that's all that is required.
Yeah.
Start off with 3 minutes. Okay. If you like it, a week or two down the road, add 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
If you like it, a week or two down the road, add 2 minutes until you get up to about 30 minutes a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you're there, then you're really beginning to enjoy the benefits of meditation.
Okay. Okay.
One of the things that I like to share with people when they start meditating, and I'm going to say it the way a lot of these young people say, they say, watch your world.
Okay.
Watch what's going on. It will change. Yes. So you'll see that there will be people who are drawn to you, and you won't have the slightest idea of why is this person all of a sudden drawn to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they pick up on the meditation technique. They're picking up on the meditation vibe that you have. There will be others who can't come anywhere near you.
Yeah. Others who can't stand you.
Yeah. And that's okay too.
That's fine.
Yeah. We're not here to pass judgment on anyone.
No.
So just be mindful as you're moving through the universe, once you start meditating, that there are going to be people that'll just be drawn to you.
Okay.
Meditation, I think another benefit of meditation is that it puts a protection over you.
Okay.
A spiritual protection over you as you're moving through the universe.
Yeah. I always say that when I started meditating, it changed my life, especially being an entrepreneur and just in life general.
Right.
Because really business is a spiritual, at least for me, everything is spiritual. I always say God is in everything.
Absolutely.
You know, and for me, what happened is I always say that my life shifted. I stopped living my life in defense and I live my life in offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I was always reacting.
No.
But now I'm like,
no, we move with intention.
Yes, with intention.
I like that. Yeah. You're not on defense anymore. You're moving and accepting what God has for you.
Yes.
You know, I lived my life for many, many decades doing Zelma.
Yeah, in defense. Let's talk about that a little bit. How did you get here?
Oh, boy, oh boy. How many hours did you say we have for this one? No, it was a journey. For those of you who know me well, I came from the East Coast. I was very, very blessed to grow up in a family that loved me. Yeah. I came from really hardworking, as my daughter and I often talk about, really just good people. Yeah. They weren't this or that or the other. They were just hardworking, good people. My dad went to work every day. Yeah. My mom went to work every day. And they loved one another. Yeah. And they brought me up in that kind of environment. When I became 18 and was grown and knew everything that I needed to know in life, I stepped out. And became that woman who, I was too grown to do this or that or the other thing. Yeah. And I went to work, and it was really difficult because I realized I had no education. Even though I was a high school graduate, I had to go back. And it took me, because my mom had a deal with me that I could stay in her house as long as I was in school or working. Okay. But if I was doing neither, I had to go because there was only one lady in her house, and it was her. It was her. Yeah. So, me being very grown and very wise, I decided, oh, no, well, then I'll just do this. Yeah. And as a result, I stepped out and got my own place, which was great. But then I realized, wait a minute, I need more education. And when I decided to go back to school, she said, oh, no. You do that on your own. You grown. Yeah. So now you go back to school as a grown woman. So it was a really hard pill for me to swallow. Yeah. It took me 8 years to do what everybody else did in 4. Okay. And I ended up at the city community college where I graduated from. And it was a hard lesson. Yeah. But it was one that I really learned a lot from. Yeah. I worked and went to school part-time for many, many years. Like I said, 8 years. And I had a daughter by that time. And, that was what I did. And then I was dating a guy at that time who said to me, baby, since you're going to school and you just got your bachelor's degree, why would you stop? Go on and get a master's. Okay. So with 2 days, I signed up to get a master's degree after graduating with my bachelor's. Wow. So I had a 2-day break. And then I went off to get my master's degree. And that started the ball rolling for me. Yeah. And I changed careers and went into education, which was a career that I absolutely loved. I worked with a population that most people did not want to work with, which was an at-risk population, a non-traditional population. Most of my students had been excluded from a traditional school setting. They called the teacher out of her name. They may have sold a few pharmaceuticals on the school grounds. Those lessons, those
they were going through their own lessons.
Lessons. But they ended up in my classroom. And I would thank God every day for those young people who came to my classroom. They taught me so much about the resiliency of youth and about the panacea of the lack of love. We have done such a tremendous disservice to our youth by not loving them.
Yeah.
So I made that my mission to love my students. And it was a wonderful 16, 17-year career, well, really 18, 19-year career at one school. My health began to deteriorate, and the doctors were all saying that I was very at high risk of a stroke.
Oh.
So I decided to stop immediately. Teaching, I retired on a whim.
Oh, wow.
And it was really that sweet young lady who I brought onto this planet, this earth planet, called my daughter. She said, Mommy, just retire. And whatever these people are going to give you, it's okay. Don't even look at it. Just retire. And know that God has always provided for you. So that's what I did. And then this opportunity opened up for me here in the Midwest, and I moved out here, not knowing a lot of people. And then the opportunities at our meditation center opened, and I have a whole nother life and family, really, that I didn't know would exist for me.
Isn't it amazing how
the universe
just orchestrates your...
If you're listening.
And that's it. If you're listening. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the lessons.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of us, we go through life and we all have different experiences.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll speak for myself. So every different stages of my life, first it was, victim me. Why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
That was when I was in defense. Everything's, I can't believe it's happening to me. Why me? You know what I mean? And when I was subscribing to that, being a victim, and not realizing that these were lessons. And because I stayed in that space of why me, I had to go through those experiences over and over and over again, until one time it's like, I can't do this anymore, because they say when you do something over and over again, now it's insanity. Yeah.
Right.
I really started becoming insane.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to talk to the audience with the way the world is right now. And I know people are experiencing a lot, a lot of grief or a lot of loss, or just people within their own journey and finding out who they are. What can you tell us about life experiences and lessons?
Okay. So like you, I experienced a lot of lessons in life. And you're right. If you don't pass those lessons, as in a classroom, you have to repeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And repeating is not fun.
No. No, it's not.
But you're going to have to do it, because the universe can't move you forward if you haven't mastered what you need to be prepared for the step forward. My sister, I've always found that God is always preparing me for my next step.
Yeah, I believe that too.
I mean,
if I pay attention.
If I'm paying attention.
Yeah, if I'm paying attention.
He's always preparing me for my next step.
That too, yeah.
Now, here's the question. Am I ready?
That's the thing.
Am I ready to step with him?
Yeah.
Or her or them? Because I think God is multiple.
Yeah.
So you have to sometimes relearn and relearn until, like you say, you take yourself out of victim mode, out of defense. Okay, now, God, help me to move to the next level.
Yeah.
And then that's when the situation will present itself to help you move to the next level. And that's how my life has progressed.
Okay.
Everywhere I went, everywhere I am, everywhere I've gone in life, it's the same. So when I look back over my life, I used to be, fall out on the floor to temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, why is
me? What's going
on? What did I do? Why is this person treating me like this? Not accepting responsibility, because, we all know that blame is not accepting your own responsibility for this situation.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
No, it's not.
To sit and look at the yuck of who you are.
Yeah.
It's very easy to say, hey, Isabel, you should. But it's really hard to sit here and look at the yuck that's Zelma. And there's some really bad things going on with me.
Yeah.
But as soon as I started to look at those faults within myself, the universe said, don't worry about that. We got you. You're observing them. You're moving forward in life. Watch this. Then something else would happen that would bring me to a different place. And the more grateful I became for the experiences, the more the experiences started to come that opened me up to the universe.
Okay.
So that's my growth pattern that I've observed
with the lessons.
Is that those are just stepping stones to move you to where God needs you to be.
I love that. And I love two things that I want to talk about. At that point in time you mentioned, if God brings it to you, are you ready? I remember having a conversation with one of my girlfriends, Nicole. She wouldn't mind me talking about this because me and her did a video. Really talented, doing really well, but it's always this, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Why am I not? And one day I stopped and I said, okay, if God gave you everything that you wanted right now, could you handle it?
You are where you're supposed to be.
You are where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And that's what I want people to know. You are where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
It may not look like what you had envisioned.
Absolutely. Because your vision and God's vision
are two different things. Yes. And we get so caught up and we get sick, depressed. We have anxiety because what you had envisioned is not where you're at.
No.
But that's not how it
it's a progress.
It is a progress.
It's a progression.
Yeah.
So, I think that, let me get personal with you.
Hey, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. We love this. It's the healing space.
Okay. For many years, I ran the world looking for this magical man who was going to come in, because I bought into the whole dream, the knight in shining armor who come in and rescue me and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, for me, he has not shown up, and I'm in a different decade, and I'm still sitting here.
You're still waiting?
Yeah. But I decided to take myself out of the wait.
Okay.
And experience the God within me, because that's all that I needed. So that brought me to the point, I was having a conversation, and we talked about this a little earlier.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with a good brother in Atlanta who said to me, you live such a wonderful solitary life. He didn't say lonely. He didn't say you were lonely and alone. He said, you live a solitary.
I love that.
And I thought, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And it's one that God, it's a gift.
Yeah.
To me from the universe, my solitary life.
Yeah.
And I get to enjoy all that God has for me in my solitary life.
Yeah.
So I started to embrace solitude.
Yeah.
And in my journey here in the Midwest, I created a space for myself around solitude. So now my meditations are at a different level because I don't have chaos in my living space. Because we like peace and quiet and solitude in our space.
Yeah.
So when my cousins call and they're angry with me about whatever, I'm not sure, I take responsibility. Okay, I think you're right. And then I hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Why? Because you can't bring that energy into my space.
No. That taking responsibility is really powerful. For me, that's when my healing started.
Oh, absolutely.
When I started looking at myself and looking at how I'm showing up in my life.
Right.
Playing a part in the chaos that I'm experiencing.
That's right.
And just really, like you're saying, looking at yourself. It's important that you look at yourself.
You have to introspect.
Yes, the introspection. That's when I started forgiving myself, and the forgiveness started, and the healing. Yeah.
We all make mistakes. There's a wonderful quote from Sant Rajinder Singh, and he says this: the carnival, now listen to the words here.
Okay.
The carnival of life deadens your spiritual awareness. Let me say that one more time. The carnival of life deadens your spiritual awareness. I read that about maybe 20 years ago. I love quotes. And so when I read that, I was like, okay, the carnival.
The noise.
The noise. What is a carnival? Ding, 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 all the time. Crazy going on. The little man, all kind of silly stuff going on. How many of us engage in a carnival of life? And I thought about it. I said, I was engaging in a carnival.
Yeah.
So when I realized what I was doing to me, I started stepping back. I don't need to attend the carnival. So now and a lot of people who've heard me talk, when my phone rings, why they call those phones smartphones is because they can tell you when the carnival is calling. Now, here's the question. Do you answer or do you leave it there? And there's nothing written in the book of life that says I have to answer. So when the carnival calls me now, I look at it, I go, okay, put it down for a little bit. Let it sit there. Let it marinate in some peace before I pick it up. And I think that's been my salvation.
That's powerful.
There's nothing that says I have to answer the crazy. So I get quiet.
Yeah. That's really knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us feel like, oh, that's powerful. A lot of us live our life based on people's expectations of how we show up and walk. But to be able to get to where you're at, it's like what you said at my conference. You say your thing in life is to have a PhD in self.
Yes. I'm always working on me.
Yes. And just hearing you saying that, that's knowing yourself.
Yeah. I want to leave here when I turn this body in at the end. A lot of people are getting all hyped up and afraid, fear of death.
Yeah.
No. Death is just a transition for me into a spirit world. Where I came from. We all came from spirit. There's another quote out there that says, we are spiritual beings having a human condition, living in a human. It's not the other way around. So when we go back to spirit and I have to turn this body in, I want to be at a place where I can say, okay, well done. I know what I did with this. I learned what my lesson was with this. Now I want to put this down and move on to the next thing.
How does somebody get to that? The reason why I'm asking you that, I believe the most important knowledge that any human being should obtain in life is knowledge of self.
Absolutely.
Because when you know self, you operate from a different space.
You do.
And there's a lot of people, a lot of us out here, especially in the world that we live in. We talked about the noise. You talked about the carnival. People are seeking peace, but while you're seeking peace, the world is moving so fast. How does somebody get to a point where they can start to get to know themselves? What does that look like?
Well, first of all, I think you really have to start sitting in meditation.
Okay.
You really have to make that your fundamental rule. So I won't leave my house. I won't make a move until I sit. I sit every day in meditation.
Yeah.
Some days when my life is, a lot of carnival is going on around me, it's a little bit more difficult to sit. But most days in retirement, I can sit and be quiet. I beg the God in me to give me what they want me to have.
Can you say that again?
I beg the God in me to give me what they want me to have.
Got it.
You know, a lot of people talk about being outside. You know, that's the big thing now. Being outside.
We're outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm strategic in my movements outside.
Oh.
I'm very strategic.
What does that mean?
That means I move with intention.
Okay.
I have purpose, and then I'm back home. I'm not out hanging out with you. We're not lollygagging and that. This is not that environment for that.
Anymore.
No more.
No.
I can almost say it's almost never been. But right now, in this situation that we find ourselves, outside is not where it's at.
Yeah.
You work like a dog to provide yourself with food, clothing, and shelter. Yeah. Now, my sisters, it's time to enjoy what you work so hard for.
Yeah.
Sit inside.
Yeah.
Be very selective in who you share your energy with.
Yes. Yeah, that's big. I agree. Yep.
So that's why I said when I move outside, I'm moving strategically with a purpose. I'm not out just, no. We're moving with a purpose, and then I'm returning back to my sacred space. And when I leave, I ask God, please allow me to return here again. Because that's another thing we need to do. I put that intention out there. When I walk out my door, I say, Lord, would you please let me return here again? And then when I walk back in the door, I say, oh, thank you, God. Look at you. You done brought me home one more time. So I'm saying to you, especially in this climate that this cold climate that we're living in right now, move with intention. Go back and pick up those lessons from the ancestors.
Yeah.
Those people move with intention.
Yeah.
They move strategically. So that's how we have to move. They didn't share a lot of energy with a lot of folk. So it's time to move intentionally, move strategically, but most of all, move in purpose, understanding your purpose.
Yeah.
And your purpose is only two things. First, you have to know yourself.
Yeah.
Self-knowledge. The second thing is God knowledge. God realization. Self-knowledge first.
Self-concept.
And then God realization. Yeah. Those are the only two things that we're required to do. So once you understand that and you get that, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
I like that self, as I talked about the knowledge, because we don't have a concept of self as people. We have others concept, like what everybody else thinks you should be or who you are, but we don't have that self concept.
No,
we do not. We do not. We have, and we're living our lives like that, and people are wondering why. And I'm only saying this because I'm growing out of that.
Right.
You know, it's not that I've always known this, especially being a people pleaser, but we don't as human beings, and we don't understand the magnitude.
And it's lonely. It's lonely.
Oh my God.
Learning this process.
Oh my God.
Because it doesn't fit the social norms.
No.
But that's okay.
No.
I would rather be the person who lives in solitude and peace
than at the carnival.
Than at the carnival.
I like that.
Where the foolishness is going on.
Yeah.
So I back away. I smile. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm doing great over here, but I'm not going to live in that space anymore.
Yeah.
Self-knowledge,
Yeah.
God realization.
God realization.
After that, there's nothing else.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. It is said that we are living in the illusionary world.
Okay.
That all of this foolishness that's going on is illusionary.
Yeah.
And guess what? It is.
Yeah.
It's not real. So how do we move past that? By getting real. By living in a space where we live in reality.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at all of this social media and whatever else is going on in the world, that's illusionary. That's called the land of Maya, the land of illusion. Mm. So back yourself up out of it. Back yourself up out of it.
Yeah.
I think there's a wonderful actress named Jennifer Lewis who says, get out of it.
Get out of it. That's my girl.
Yeah, she says it a little bit more differently.
She does.
I'm not going to say what she says, but come out of it.
Yeah.
Come on up out of there.
Yeah.
It's illusion. So when you're there in that space, then you want to stay focused on who you are and the God within you.
Yeah.
Then you'll see all that you need to see.
Yeah.
I find that to be the only way to go for me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I feel it is the only way to go. And just to warn people, as you said, that space right there, it's first it gets lonely. Then you feel you're alone. And then you get to the solitude where you love being by yourself.
Because you realize you're not by yourself.
No.
God is always there.
Always.
And you can talk to him within your home.
Yes.
You can experience him within your home. I have to tell you this kind of funny story. My daughter said to me that I guess she saw something that the spaceship is coming, the mothership is coming from outer space. The extraterrestrials are coming. And she said, what do you think? And I said, well, I'll be sitting here in meditation. When they get to my balcony, I can offer them some good vegetarian food and some tea. And she said, Ma. And I said, well, that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, I don't know what others are going to be doing, but that's what I'll be doing. If they would like to come in and sit and meditate with me, come on in.
Yeah.
But we're just not going to have the illusion is not coming in.
Yeah.
So I think it's the survival skill of our ancestors that's coming through. And this is how they survived. They survived horrible, horrible, horrible things.
Yeah.
But they made it so that we could be here.
Yeah. So
we stand on real solid foundation with this. And spiritually, they were light years ahead of most people. At least I know in my family they were. And I'm sure in everybody else. If you look back at them aunties and my uncles back in the day, those neighborhood folks that looked out for you as a kid. You know who they were.
And it's so interesting, man. It's like when you have these conversations, it's like a light bulb. As you were speaking, I started picturing my grandmothers.
Yeah.
And when we used to go to the village in the rural areas. So I remember my grandmother, she didn't want electricity.
Yes.
She didn't but as you were speaking, I was just thinking about how they would even move.
Yeah.
They
didn't rush and run.
Even as they're cooking and the things that they did. And they had, we think they had less than we have now. They had more than we have.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she could tell the time when the sun is coming out and all that kind of stuff. And as a kid, you don't pay attention to that. But now that I'm grown and listening to you say that, I need to really tap into that.
Absolutely. Because here's my philosophy on them. Those people came a mighty long way with nothing.
But not everything. But with everything.
Everything. Exactly. Someone said to me, African Americans don't have any culture. And I looked at the person and I kind of laughed.
Yeah.
And I moved on.
Yeah.
Because I thought, this is ignorant, so I'm going to cross the road, because that was another thing that my grandmother used to say. When you see ignorance, you cross the road.
Yeah.
So the point here is that these people came light years away from everything they knew, and they brought their culture with them. And they used that to raise a whole 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah.
So when you see that, it brought them a mighty long way. Why wouldn't it take you and me a mighty long way? So when I see that, I think, okay, I know what to do for this. When I look out here and see, oh, okay, there's a delusion is going on. Okay, then let me double down on what I know. And as your grandmother, you all know this. Your grandmother say, when you know, you know, you know.
Yeah.
So when you know, you double down on that. Or in my case, you double up on that.
I got that.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. We could talk forever. This has been truly amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Before you leave, I always ask my guests, first thing, of course, I got this one from Oprah. What do you know for sure? And after you answer that question, there's somebody out there right now that does not have hope.
Oh.
What do you have to say to them? This is the healing space. We'll talk about everything else, but I always make sure I acknowledge that there are days where I need to find hope.
Right.
So that means there's somebody out there right now who doesn't have hope.
Okay.
What do you have to say to them?
Okay. Your first question was,
what do you know for sure?
This is what I know for sure. God is love. And God loves me. I am a part of God. So there's a love between me and the universe. So God is love. That is real. God is real.
Yeah.
That I know. My mother said to me about 24 hours before she left, she said, baby girl, always know that God is there. He'll never take you any place to leave you. So that's what I would say to that person who is without hope.
Yeah.
Stop. God loves you, and he'll never take you anywhere in life and leave you there and walk off. That will not happen. That's not going to happen. And the reason why I can stand on that 10 toes down is because it's never happened to me. God has never taken me anywhere, even though when it looked like it was going to be the darkest of times, he never left me there.
Yeah.
He said, that's all right, baby girl. You may be sitting here now, but watch this. And just like that, I was out of it. So the person who has no hope, the person who is wallowing in the doo-doo of the world, just always remember, God ain't brought you that far to leave you there. He's not going to leave you there.
Yeah.
So always remember, God is real. And he'll never take you anywhere and leave you. Period. And I know this after 7 decades. Uh-oh, am I telling you how old I am? After 7 decades of life.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
May I invite your audience?
Absolutely. This is your floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a member of an organization called Science of Spirituality. We host something called Divine Beauty Women's Retreats. And they are online. We're going to have virtual in the month of March. We'll have them every Thursday night in the month of March. Please go online to Science of Spirituality. That's SOS.org. And you can find the Divine Beauty Women's Retreat webinars. They're 1 hour long, where you will get a practical experience in meditation. If you find yourself in the Chicagoland area, March 15, we're going to have a women's retreat at our center in Lisle, Illinois. Again, go to SOS.org. It's a free event. It's a day-long event, and it's an opportunity to share, like, enjoy the camaraderie of women. And it's a day-long event, totally free. Just come to the event. Be ready to do yoga. Be ready to enjoy the company and good vegan food, vegetarian food. Just be ready to enjoy all that God has for you that day. So with that, I'd like to invite your audiences to come. I'm sure you will share with them our website.
I will.
All of that information.
Okay. What I'll do is when the podcast comes out, because it's on YouTube too, so I'll put all the information about the S.O.S. and the Divine Beauty Women's Conference. It is amazing. I went there twice. Last year, I was part of the panel, which was just so rich. So many women. What I liked was women from all walks of life. Yeah. I mean, all walks of life. And even the first year when I went there, it was just, it's amazing. So I would encourage women to really.
We are so excited because this is our 10th anniversary.
There you go.
And so I want to welcome all of you to the Science of Spirituality Meditation Center and then to our Divine Beauty Women's Retreat. So we look forward to this opportunity to be together in sisterhood.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. I thank you so much. I feel blessed that I was able to share you, my audience. And I know as human beings, we walk around and we think, well, I'm just this, I'm just that. No, you really changed my life and you continue to change my life. And I just pray that God continues to cover you and really protect you so you can continue to touch as many people through meditation and continue to do your Divine Beauty Conference for women. So that's what I'll do when the podcast comes out, which will be the Wednesday after next. I'll make sure I advertise prior to that. I'll have clips to show you guys that the podcast is coming. I'll put all our information for S.O.S. and Divine on the page. So if you guys have any questions, you can click on there. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you so much for listening to this podcast. As usual, I know you don't have to be here, but you are here with us. So for me, I am honored. I hope you could share this with your friends. As I mentioned before, my goal is wherever God is going to take this, I would love to see the world heal. Whatever that looks like for you, I would love to see the world heal. So again, thank you so much for listening to the Loud Whisper podcast. This is your healing space where we talk about everything humanity. And I hope you have an amazing day. And as always, you are enough just as you are. Absolutely. Take care. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Loud Whisper Reignite Your Voice podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please be sure to subscribe so that you never miss a conversation. I would also be honored if you would consider leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Podcasts. As always, you can connect with me through the links in the description. Thanks again for listening. We're so glad you could join us today and look forward to supporting you on your greatest journey. Have a great day.